家好，我是英国杰克，这是我亲爱的妈妈。
大家好，我是英国老妈。
So what are we up to today, Mum?
Well, today we're going to take a look at the top 10 places that you might visit if you came to England.
Awesome, and that's great because we are from England.
Yep.
So it's really exciting for us to share some of our culture with you guys.
Yeah, fab.
Yeah. So tell us some things about England, Mum.
Well, England is one of the countries that makes up the British Isles. It's got within it the capital city. It's home to Shakespeare, the Beatles, and of course our monarchy, the royal family.
And it's got a really long and interesting and varied history, which I think is very similar to China.
Yes, that's a similarity. Although, of course, we're a very small country.
Yes. Right, so let's take a look then at the top 10 places in England.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Right. So there we've got now the Tower Bridge. We're still in the introduction. And our first place will be coming up shortly.
Yeah. I think we might start with the capital city.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the pictures of London, isn't it?
Yeah.
The new skyscrapers. That's Westminster, which is where Parliament sit.
Yeah.
Make the decisions for the country.
Here we are, London.
So first up, Mum, where's our first place to visit?
Our first place to visit when you go to London, well, I guess would be Buckingham Palace, which is the home to our royal family, Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah, and just on screen there is the National Art Gallery, which is where there's lots of incredible paintings from all over the world. Big
Ben at Westminster.
Sure.
And that's the River Thames, and you can take a river taxi from the Thames right the way up to Greenwich, which is really interesting.
Sure, certainly. This area is called Westminster and it houses very important and old traditional buildings, whether it's cathedrals or the Westminster or this type of thing.
Or the London Eye.
The London Eye, which we've been on when I
yes.
was a child.
Yeah.
Tower Bridge. That bridge goes up to let boats through. There, of course, is Buckingham Palace, where the Queen lives.
And the gates, you can't get past those gates.
Sure.
But you can stand there and see the changing of the guards.
So how many people live in London, Mum?
Oh, I don't know. Is it about 15 million?
I think so, yeah. It would be considered a medium-sized city, I believe, in China. Perhaps even small.
Yeah, but it's our biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it also home to the first subway, the London Underground? Certainly one of the first, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So there you can obviously see the trains coming in and out. It's got a very complex rail system.
Yeah.
Right, so where is our second place that we recommend people visit in England?
So our second place is Stonehenge in the county of Wiltshire. So that's a really ancient stone monument. I'm not really sure that they know the exact origins of it, but it's very famous.
Sure, yeah. And I mean the complete opposite of London, from the very traditional, modern, cutting-edge city to something that's steeped in mysticism, in history. How did these people without technology get these exceptionally heavy rocks and place them like they have placed them? It's a little bit like the pyramids in a sense. We're not quite sure how these prehistoric people were able to lift such large rocks. Yeah.
Or the purpose of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are there any sites like this in China where you perhaps are not sure, are not clear how your prehistoric Chinese people were able to lift rock to such a high place? I certainly know England has Stonehenge, there's the pyramids in Egypt, there's also some pyramids in South America, there's the Holiday Island, Easter Island heads near Australia. So this is a very important place in UK traditional folklore. Right, so third up
is the city of Oxford. So Oxford again is a really famous place, and you'll probably know it for being most famous for its university. I think it's cited as being the first university in England, and I think it was based there because there was lots of financial dealings there.
Yeah, I think it was maybe the king that gave some money to set it up to begin with, a place of learning. But our Chinese audience will know Niujin Daxue because it's a very good university and it takes lots of students from across the world. So yeah. Next up, another beautiful traditional city.
York, which is a medieval walled city, I think established by the Romans quite some time ago, and that's further north. But that's a really interesting place to go. And there's the Minster, the York Minster, which is a word
church,
similar to a cathedral, a large church.
Yeah. You can imagine going up to that building hundreds of years ago and thinking, wow, I believe in God, because if he can create such a magnificent building. But York has an excellent university. As you can see here, the stone buildings are very traditional. They're very beautiful to look at because they're all carved with stone. There's a real level of craftsmanship and engineering that's gone into building these. So next up, Mum.
The Jurassic Coast. I'm not really sure that many of us in England call it that, but it's a stretch of 95 miles of really interesting geological coastline from Devon to Dorset.
Yeah, it's where the coast that looks out to France, isn't it? So
yes.
That's called the English Channel.
Yeah.
And the cliffs of Dover are very important in UK mythology. As like, when you see the cliffs of Dover, you've returned home. Yeah. But as you can see, it's beautiful blue waters, lots of nice sandy beaches. So an excellent day out, really. You could go diving there, couldn't you? Really
nice. Yeah. Although we've got lovely coast on the east coast as well, or Cambridge, and that's another city well known for its university. I think that was the second university established in this country after Oxford. And again, it's got lots of really beautiful architecture there.
Yeah, it's steeped in history and a seat of learning and a place of education. And it has famously a rivalry with Oxford, and they will have a yearly rowing race which demonstrates that rivalry. You just saw the canal there where they row boats to see who can go fastest. But I'm sure that our audience will know of Cambridge and Oxford simply because of the incredible universities there. Yeah.
Oh, it's so picturesque.
Yeah, certainly.
So picturesque.
Like I say in the York place, the buildings are built out of beautiful stone. And speaking of beautiful stone, the perfect example of it
is Bath.
And
that's Royal Crescent there, which is a particularly famous row of Georgian houses.
Yeah, and they're in a crescent, which is in like a semicircle, a bit like the moon. So Bath is very famous as well because it's got lots of water springs and water flowing through it. I used to live close to Bath, actually, in Bristol. And Bath was the city that we would always visit as something nice to do. You can just simply walk around it and take in the beautiful sights. St Ives in Cornwall.
So that's a beautiful site. So this is a really famous Cornish, I think it used to be a fishing village, but it's just for tourism now. It's absolutely beautiful there. And the Cornwall is famed for its beautiful coastline, the sea and the sand.
I would say it's the most prominent tourism venture, tourism destination in the UK, where people want to go and have a holiday.
Look at that.
Because it's got nice beaches, it's nice weather because it's very southerly, and it's set up for lots of tourism, so it's a fabulous place to go. Yeah. Especially during coronavirus when we can't fly to other countries. So the same in China, people have been focusing on domestic tourism.
So this is another area, the Lake District, which is a national park. So that would be ideal for a staycation in the coronavirus times. And famous poet William Wordsworth, I wandered lonely as a cloud, and that was based on the area of the Lake District.
Very picturesque, very majestic. If you like hill walking or climbing or outdoor activities, the Lake District is the perfect place to go. And as Mum says, it's a national area, so the government protects it to make sure there's no building on it or rubbish, or just make sure it stays in good condition.
As it is.
Yeah.
It's got the highest mountain in England, which is Scafell Pike.
Wow.
And it's got the largest water mass, which is Lake Windermere.
Yes. I've climbed Scafell Pike when I was in school, yeah. I think I did, anyway.
Well done.
Thank you.
So there's Lake Windermere. Yeah, so you an area for walking, climbing, sailing.
Yeah.
Or just wandering around, really. It's beautiful.
Right, so we should be coming up to the 10th place, if I've counted correctly, once we get past these beautiful blue picture skies. And so finally, we have
Brighton, which is another coastal seaside town really close to the city, the capital of London. And it's famed for that pier, which is called the Palace Pier, which is a structure a bit like a bridge that goes out from the promenade into the sea.
It's the perfect place for people that are in London and finding it quite stressful in the big city. If they want to spend a little bit more time in a more relaxing area, they will get on the train and go down to Brighton. So it's very, very popular with lots of people from London.
Yeah. And the Brighton Pier has a fun fair and amusements and lots of activities for fun and recreation.
Yeah. And a pier in British tradition is very important culturally. In the time of the war, more traditional times, people would go out to piers, which are these wooden structures on the coast, just to have some fun. Right, so that brings us to the end of our top 10 places to visit in England. We're really pleased today to share some beautiful scenery from our country, England. 英国欢迎你，你可以来到这边看一看这些非常美丽的地方。So they're welcome to come look at these beautiful places. Yeah. What are they also welcome to do?
Well, you're also welcome to like and subscribe.
对，如果你喜欢这期视频，可以给我们点赞和关注我们的频道，那就好。Okay, was there anything else we wanted to add, Mum?
No, just I really enjoyed that look of various different places in England.
Yeah. Oh, last thing to say, you are welcome to come, but you do have to wait until coronavirus is sorted, because it's a bit difficult at the moment, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, 一键3连，拜拜。
Bye-bye.